It worked.
Yes.
Yay.
How is it? How you going? How
I
are you
am
doing?
I am doing well. I am doing really well. How are you?
Good. Good. I am doing very good. Today was a very, very busy day.
Uh,
Like I was running around all day.
well, we'll have some exciting things to talk about this one, huh?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Okay, guys. Welcome to Hot Take Tuesday Live on a Wednesday. I'm your host, Lisa, writer, director, and producer of the Zombie Chronicles. And I have my lovely guest today, Sasha, who is a talented actress. Sasha, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure. My name is Sasha Rango. I am a South Florida actor, and this is my first time doing a live. And I've worked with Lisa before in her show Roadies, which was such a blast. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yay! Thank you so much. You guys gotta check out Sasha, okay? She's talented, all right? And that was a fun time. That was a fun time. You guys really brought Roadies to life.
Yes.
Like, that was a fun time. All right, now we are here, guys, to talk about Matilda the Musical. So feel free to drop any comments, any questions in the chat. We'll be reading them as we go along and talk and discuss. So it's open forum. Alrighty, so Matilda the
I
Musical.
have a question for you. I
Yes,
was going to
yes.
say, is this your first musical movie that you're reviewing?
In this manner, on this type of platform, it might be. It might be. It might be.
Okay.
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 So cherry pop.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it because I love musicals. I do. I really do. I am a musical theater kid. I will say that.
Do you have a favorite musical?
Oh, okay. It's a hard question. I really love the musical Come From Away. It surprised me. It's kind of about an airplane that lands during 9/11 in a town called Newfoundland, and kind of like they're getting to know each other and dealing with this circumstance of, they don't know what's going on during 9/11. But such a simple set, but such beautiful music, and it's really about like the human connection. So I love that one. It's probably like, and Ragtime. Oh, that's another one. It's another one of like different people living different lives that kind of intertwine with each other, like the immigrants.
It was always fun.
Yeah. So like that story is lovely. So yeah.
Let's see. I think my introduction to musicals, I don't count like Disney and everything because those are kind of like, I'm talking about live action right now. I believe Hairspray, honestly, the one with Ricky Lake, was my first introduction as younger as into musicals. I loved Hairspray. Loved it. And I also really like I know Chicago's great. Like there's a bunch that I really like. So musicals aren't something that I run to, but I do like them.
Mm-hmm.
I also have to kind of be in the mind from okay, let's go in. So my hesitation with Matilda, which I'm so glad that I picked that one that you had me watch that one, because without you I probably would not have watched it. And it wasn't because I don't like musicals, it's because of, it's close ties to Matilda.
Yeah.
And what I know of the 1996 movie, and I read the books. It was a book. So I wasn't familiar with the stage version of it. So I was like, what are they going to do? And then I started watching it, and I was like, there's a lot of singing in this musical, which makes sense.
I would.
Which is why I included it in my hot take as like a funny little added thing. And I gotta say, I was like 15, 20 minutes in, my older daughters, they're like, so how bad is it? I'm like, I gotta tell you, I'm kind of liking it.
Yeah, really? I will.
Yeah.
I have to agree though too with the music part, and I think we can get into that a little bit in a bit after we kind of touch base on other things. But yeah, I mean, I will say that I really appreciate that these musicals that sometimes are very hard to access aren't as accessible to people. For example, Hamilton,
Yeah.
one, like where to see it, and then two, like ticket prices. Having that to come into your own home and see that is
Hmm.
so, I think, gives people the opportunity to experience what is kind of live theater or the beauty of musical theater. So
Yeah.
that's something that I appreciate. This one is more like a movie, not set so much like
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
stage. But they definitely bring that, you know, aspect of the show, to it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The essentially what you would call over the top in a movie version is kind of how it is for theater, which I think is also the fun of theater. And I enjoy live theater. It's just live theater is one of those things where it's like, okay, like you said, time, tickets. Like by the time I go down the line, I'm like, okay. And because I had recently I attended, I forget what it was called, but it was, oh my goodness, Sherlock Holmes and Mrs. Watson, or Miss Sherlock Holmes, something like that.
Okay.
And they had it at the North Miami Theater. I'm just like, I'll shoot you the information later. But it was so amazing, and it wasn't a musical, but the whole live theater, the acts. It was literally 3 or 4 actors who were doing multiple characters, and they were so invested in these characters that they definitely became them. It it,
Mm.
it wasn't like like uh, um, me acting like hey, and then me going. So now I'm this other person acting. It was totally different. Like they really, really fell
Yeah,
into it.
the belief was there.
Ice first says shout out to Hairspray. Yes, shout out to Hairspray. Um, Now, how did you feel about Matilda the musical? Like I know you mentioned it was more of a movie thing, but did you enjoy it? Did you like it?
I will say that I was familiar with the 1996 film as well. So going into it, I will say that that was the only Broadway musical that I got to experience in New York for the first time. So that was like, yeah. So I have that kind of basis of it, but I will say that I'm super nostalgic to the 1996 film. I rewatched it last night
Oh,
because I was just like, all right, I just, that feeling of nostalgia. I know that this adaptation is based on the stage
yes,
musical. It's not
yes.
based on
The movie,
the
yeah.
movie
Or the,
at all. Yeah, and there are some things that they added
mm-hmm.
from that wasn't in the book.
No.
Overall, I liked it. I wouldn't say I loved it, but
Mm-hmm.
it was. I wrote a few things about it. I like wrote down a whole thing
Oh,
of
no, no.
how I feel.
We're
Yeah,
going to be going over that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I went in thinking that I was just gonna really hate it.
Okay.
So when I was like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm kind of really liking it. Okay, I'm digging it. A lot of music, but I'm digging it. I like the direction that they went. And normally I'm kind of like apprehensive, you know what I mean? About like a remake or you know what I mean? Like, because the standard has already been set.
Yeah.
So it kind of already puts you in an odd place because it's like, well, if you do exactly what was done, then you're just copying. It looks soulless. But if you divert too much from the material, then people get really upset because then it's like, well, what is this? You might as well call it something else. So I feel like making a remake is already walking a fine line. You have to be very careful about that. But like you said, this was kind of bringing the stage to to the movie, which I think benefited it more than it trying to redo the 1996 version. Obviously, the 1996 version can't touch it. Can't touch it.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Danny DeVito. That's it. Just Danny DeVito is the reason.
can't touch it. And I really liked. I thought that Emma Thompson did a good job as Agatha, but you know, I mean, our Trenchbull, she was much scarier to me.
So much scary. Yeah, even watching it like now, I mean, we can go into the cinematography of it, but like just the eeriness of this woman, like she just, I don't know, you would see her in your nightmares, you know. And I mean, Emma Thompson did bring that scariness, but they also did have to put on a bunch of prosthetics. This woman
Yeah,
is very beautiful, but this I don't remember the other actress in the '96 film, but
I know, and her name's escaping me, and she was in the Harry Potter movies.
yes, yes.
Yes, she was the aunt. Um, I don't actually, I should have wrote it down. I don't actually have the name of the actress from the 1996 version,
Mhm.
but it was funny you did it because I'm sitting there, I'm watching, and I'm like, is that Emma Thompson?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it is, but it isn't. And then I realized that, oh, okay, they gave her shoulder pads, platform shoes, a body cast, prosthetics.
Did you ever see
Like, okay,
Nanny McPhee? Have you ever
I
seen?
definitely,
Okay, okay.
definitely
That's
saw it
it's,
in
it's you know, Emma usually plays this very, you know, very lovely character. So like the ones that I remember are Nanny McPhee and this film where she's like this kind of grimy
mm-hmm.
older woman that, you know, you don't really like.
Yeah.
But I feel like she played it very well. At the same time, I feel like some of the songs made her not as scary as the original.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. I agree with you. It seems like they took out some of the viciousness of her because the other one, I truly believed if a kid died, she'd be like, okay, that's one less. You know what I mean? Like, I just, there was nothing there. Eisfer says, did you guys feel that the musical aspect of the remake helped enhance the overall storyline or hindered it? Hindered it.
Yeah.
Hindered it. Hindered it. That was actually one of my critique in my little hot take video I made where I said, I feel like they took away from the story because they had to make up for the music.
Yes.
And at one point, I was like, I thought they were going to go in a different direction and have the librarian adopt Matilda because it felt like they had more of a connection. They had more emotional moments.
That's
than her and
a
Miss Honey.
really good point, actually, now that you say that, because I did write down about like the connection between Miss Honey and Matilda, and just feeling like she would go more to this librarian. She had a deeper connection with her. That I wouldn't have been against. You know what I mean? Like that take either, because I felt like it was true and authentic. And there was no, I don't think there's like any duets or singing parts between whenever she's telling her story.
No.
I
Yeah.
think so.
I don't remember.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think so.
but yeah, now that you think about it, I think her name's like Mrs. Phelps. I wouldn't be against if that took that turn. But yeah, it did hinder it for sure. I feel like there was so much music. I mean, it's 2 hours of a movie, okay? And I'm pretty sure at least half of it, a little bit more, is music.
Absolutely freaking lutely. Because I remember sitting down, I'm going, 2 hours and 2 minutes for a kids movie? All right,
Mm-hmm.
all right. See what you guys do. Oh, Eisner says true.
See, you agree. Yeah.
Yeah, again, like if they had decided to go in that direction and have the librarian adopt her instead of Miss Honey, I honestly wouldn't have been upset because I feel like they really did a good job of establishing. I thought that's where it was going. I was like, oh, they're changing it up. Cool. So the Miss Honey thing kind of felt really tacked on at the end because it was kind of like, oh, it's hard to establish this. Boom, boom, boom. And I was like, okay.
Right.
Okay. And can I also say I don't like how timid they made Miss Honey. And let me explain. Miss Honey was already like she grew up with Trenchbull in the shadow. She had a fear. All good. But what this movie does that the original didn't do was make it so she just sat aside and watched kids get hurt. I never saw her doing it to that degree. She would try to interject more. You know, she would try to push. She even like snuck Matilda out of the chokey. Like she didn't just stand by and watch
Yeah.
Trenchbull like violate kids. Like, you know, yes, they're normal yelling, screaming, talking down to them, you know, whatever. But like avidly watching her pick kids up and throw them, I never saw in the movie her sit back and allow that to happen. I just didn't like that. I feel like I took a little bit away from Miss Honey for me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, Miss Honey, the reason why she still is in this job is because she cares so much for her kids.
Yeah.
Right? And I felt like, yes, she had the care for it, but not like the original one was literally Honey. Like, she was what every child looked up to as a teacher, what I would look up to as a teacher. And I felt like Miss Honey was just like another person,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And I mean, they gave her, so I'm not trying to nitpick. I'm not trying to nitpick. And I know that this is a whole different separate thing from the original, but I am highlighting a important character trait that needed to be there. So she did a lot more stuttering in this one than the other one. Okay, fine, because you're afraid of her. I totally get it. But it just, like, again, in the original one, whenever a child was really in harm's way, she found a way to protect the child or slightly stand up to Miss Trunchbull, like, you know, just enough that like Miss Trunchbull wouldn't get to her, but like she would like prove her point. You know, like, dang it, okay, I can't do anything because you make a good point. Like, I did not like how they portrayed Miss Honey in this one. I didn't like it.
And also in the other, we're like doing a little bit of comparison here, but just talking more about character depth, just the sincerity that Miss Honey has, you know, where she wants to show like, your child is such an exquisite child. Like, look how special that there's a song in the musical that it's called, I believe, like This Little Girl or something, but it's talking about how wonderful Matilda is, or like how amazing these little children are. And I feel like it didn't highlight that much. We have a comment. Miss Honey is in the musical really felt like a side character instead of the cornerstone of the story, which I very much feel like Miss Honey is the one that is giving Matilda the power to be empowered. And in this one, in the musical, Matilda already is like this confident girl. Like in the beginning of the film, she's already like into books, has this knowledge in her, not showing how the books are helpful to her.
So, yeah, that's a small gripe for me, because I was like, oh man, like Matilda's already like confident, self-assured, blah blah blah, like, you know, nobody can stop me. And it's a small gripe, but I see it a lot nowadays in a lot of movies, especially when doing female characters, which bothers me slightly, because the whole part of the enjoyment of a movie is the journey and the arc of the character. But if you already have it all together from the beginning, where is the journey? Where is the arc? It's kind of, it makes you like a bland, boring character. Now,
or very like flat. Yeah.
Yes. And they keep doing it. And I'm like, okay, you can show a strong, independent woman without making her without flaws, or how to know how to do everything off that. And that it bothers me a little bit, because I'd rather watch her go through the journey and get it at the end. Give me hope that maybe I can get there. You know what I mean? If I watch the movie and she's already perfect from the beginning, oh, I'm already behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Now, in this instance, for Matilda, it wasn't as big a gripe for me, a small one, because I think also because of the character, the movie, and the type of movie and everything going on, it wasn't as, you know, in my face, and she was being treated like garbage every which way. So. Okay, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I guess I could maybe speak on myself, but like as a kid, having that confidence, it's usually built by another person, or like, you know, maybe having a little bit of more backstory, how those books really were her escape from her problems, not just being a smart kid. You know, one thing is like, I just like books, but it's like she uses the books as a way of escaping how terrible her parents are, or how much abuse she's dealing with, or having that happy ending, right? Like, I remember the 96 film, they said, like, it shows that Miss Honey and Matilda can have a happy ending, you know, that things in books can really happen.
Yes. Oh, the Dan DeVito narration, which is very needed. Very needed.
Say, yeah. I didn't even make that connection until I was an adult, that Danny DeVito was, I mean, I don't know who Danny DeVito was when I was a kid, but like, that Danny DeVito is the narrator, and you're just like, I love this narrator, and you don't even realize your dad.
Oh, Ice First says, yes, preach. So, it like, and again, we did enjoy the movie, guys, but we are going to dissect things, okay? We're going to talk about where, you know, and unfortunately, you know, when you do a remake or a reboot, it's impossible not to compare, not to look. It's impossible, especially if it's not being done as well. That's, like, you know what I mean? Like, there are very few times where a remake is better than the original.
Or also like, Matilda the movie is such a cult classic, and the majority of people have seen the original movie and have not only just seen the show. You know, so they already are going into it like, okay, I'm going to get something of the story. Yeah. But I think mostly, like, my biggest takeaway of everything is just, like, the characters not being fleshed out, or the story. It's 2 hours, but yet somehow the hour-and-a-half film had more context. And I think that's in part the music. And sometimes in musicals, the music is explaining the story. It is the reason that they sing is because we can't express ourselves with words, so we're going to song. I just sometimes feel like it just was fluff, you know?
Did Matilda have a song where she was talking about how the books took her away to other places, away from where she currently is? Because honestly, one song that I definitely remember was basically her talking about, like, you know, don't let people push you around. You stand up for yourself. And she kind of said it a couple times. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the song. But to your point about expressing how the books allowed her to, you know, escape, if you wanted to marry it with the musical aspect, have a song where she's talking about escape. And then, you know, if you want to add visuals to it, where like she's, you know, maybe flying in the air, or she's like on a ship, you know, like if you want to play around with it, with that, where you're expressing, okay, the books are her escape, and this is how it's done. I just said that the musical did a lot of things right, in my opinion. Examples, music, choreo, cinematography. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. The choreography. Yes, I agree. It was fantastic.
There's literally 100 out of 10. I don't have any complaints about the choreography. These kids are literal triple threats. They are incredible, which I'm pretty sure a lot of them are from the original, or from the Broadway cast.
That was amazing.
Yeah. So they're like, yeah, we already know this. Like, you know, the Revolting Children song. Honestly, literally no complaints about that song.
All the songs that I loved were the ones the kids sang. Whenever the kids were singing, or even Matilda, whenever they were singing, I was like, check. And I'm with you. But again, Trunchbull's song didn't, you know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure that, like, my classmates that were sleeping during that show were sleeping during Trunchbull's songs, because I'm just like, okay. You know, but the story is the backbone of the original movie. Yeah. I mean, you have to in those songs. There has to be this depth that's needed there.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like every time we were going to get to like the beef of the thing, it's like, okay, here's a breakout in a song, which sometimes happens in musicals, but I was like let down because I felt like their character development lacked in Miss Honey. The parents, I didn't really hate them. I was just like, they're annoying.
Too fun to hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were so ridiculous. I loved them. They were horrible people still, but like I didn't hate them. But to be fair, I didn't hate Danny DeVito and is it Rita Perlman? I think her name is. I didn't hate them either.
Really? You don't hate that moment where they literally take her head and make her stare at the screen? And that's something that was like literally traumatizing.
I think the reason why I don't hate it is because she ended up ruining the TV, the thing they love so much. I think that's because she got to, gotcha.
Yeah.
I hated him tearing up the book both times. It hurt my heart. Like I was always a bookworm. So watching the father tear up a book that she loved, knowing what it means to her. That's not my book, it's a library book. Just it was so ridiculous. It was hard for me to hate them.
Yeah.
They were just ridiculous people to me. And the fact that in the musical the father kept referring to her as a boy. Because he wanted a boy so badly, he never fully accepted boy.
Yeah.
Him, you, boy. I'm like, and it wasn't until the very end.
The very end. He says,
very end when she was about to be gone from him that he said, my daughter. And even she was like, what? Like, I think that's the only time he showed any care.
Talking about the boy, there is no brother in this film.
Yes.
I don't know about the book. I haven't read the book, but you tell me. But I know that in the musical, the Broadway musical, there is a brother. And I know that in the 96 film that there's also a brother as well. And there's constantly, it shows also how there's like the favoritism of that child.
Yeah. Who's just like them.
Yeah, who doesn't make any fuss, and he's smart in their eyes, because he doesn't cause problems
and can walk and chew gum apparently. Like no, having the brother there, it drives home more so the fish out of water aspect for Matilda, how much she doesn't belong or feels like she belongs, because. You're right with the the musical movie version. It's almost like they don't want to have a kid. Period. They don't want a child. Period. But in the other way, it shows that no, they do love their son.
Yeah.
So in the musical movie version, the father got to have that one little tiny moment of like the heart one, and the mother was like whatever. But in the 1996 version, it was the mother who had that one little tiny thing, like when she's on the verge of saying I have the papers to be adopted, and she's like, you're my only little girl, I've never quite understood you. And that felt genuine. Like, I genuinely never understood you. And then she's like, who's got a pen? Let me give you to somebody who does. You know what I mean?
It's the one act. That's something that I obviously love, is that the one act of kindness that they gave their daughter was giving her to Miss Honey.
Now, how do you feel about, in 1996, it was Matilda who'd been walking around with adoption papers since she knew how to copy. And in the musical, it was Miss Honey that was like, no, I'll take her.
Ooh. I feel like it like kind of didn't make sense to Miss Honey if you're gonna, I don't know, like it's the first time that Miss Honey stands up, you know, like maybe they should have showed it a little bit more that Miss Honey can be brave. I don't know.
Well,
I haven't
let me ask you this: if it was the librarian who said, "I will take her," would that change anything for you?
It would make more sense
Yes.
in my mind. It would
Yeah.
click a
100,
little bit more.
100 times more.
Yeah.
100 times more. It would click.
Mhm.
Like I didn't even think we were gonna have a Miss Honey until she showed up. That's how established the librarian was to me.
That's so true.
I was like, oh, they're going really off the book. Okay, what are we doing? I'm interested. I'm vibing.
Yeah.
And like the they made the parents, I feel, so much stupider. They made them so much dumber in this one.
I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how, because I feel like they were both like pretty dumb. I will say in the musical version.
Oh, did you freeze on me? Oh, yeah, you did. I thought you were reading something. I don't know if she's freezing or if I'm freezing, but we'll get her back on in a second, guys. You guys know how live be livin'. As long as she's the frozen one and not me. Okay, thought so. That's crazy. The librarian had more character established than Miss Honey. That's crazy. Yes, right? So crazy. Like, I couldn't even believe it. I'm waiting for Sasha to come back on. I think it's her signal. I think it's her signal. I don't think it's me. But yeah, like the thing about they were doing a lot of stuff, which was good. They were doing a lot of stuff. Hold on, let me see if I can get her back on. It's so weird that it's showing this. You guys are a lot of fun. Thank you. I tend to try every Wednesday, most Wednesdays, to do a live where I discuss a movie with a guest and we break it down, we talk about stuff. So I usually let the guest pick. And I am definitely, see if I can, I'm trying to get her back on. Bear with me. Live in. Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. It's getting dark in my room, so in the living room, so I'm trying to put some light here. All righty. Okay, we're back.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
guys. What were we talking about?
Well,
like
Ivor says that you guys are a lot of fun.
Aw, thank you. Thank you. We're talking about how Mrs. Phillips has more character development than Miss Honey.
And Miss Honey.
Yeah.
I
feel like it was a little bit out of character for Miss Honey. Like, I like that choice. I just wish I would have seen it more throughout, that Miss Honey was standing up for Matilda. Because the only other time that I see her like stand up is where she goes to Trunchbull's office and says, "This girl is brilliant. I think that she should be in a higher level." You know, where she's just trying to show that she's really smart, but that's the only time that I see her stand up for her.
And even then, like Miss Trunchbull's, oh, she's a troublemaker. I do it, and she doesn't really say much to it. And again, I feel like the 1996 version, Miss Honey made more of an attempt to say that, you know, she's so smart, this and that, and then Trunchbull was like, oh, she's too much for you to handle. Okay, I'll put her in the choke here. I'll do so. Like, she threatened her, and she threatened something on Matilda, and she goes, no, it's fine, she's good. So that was totally different to me than here, where it's like she's talking crap about Matilda, and she's just like, Sorry.
Lisa's like, I'm done.
I'm so sorry. Like I just feel like
No,
they pulled
it's nothing
too far.
against the actress
Oh
itself. It's that
no.
there's no care. There's you know, Miss Honey has so much potential, and like
Yes.
someone comments, she's the cornerstone
Yes.
of the story, and she was very secondary to
Yeah.
her. I didn't have. I want to like develop a feeling for a character. I want to be on your side, you know, where I'm just like, oh well, I knew that because I knew the 1996 version. Like it wasn't really, I was like, okay, I guess she's gonna end up with her. Which another thing that I wanted to say is that they added that song at the end, some when they're like repairing the whole school.
Oh.
Um, and they have that moment that they're like holding hands or something. That was a new song that was added. Wasn't in the Broadway show, and I feel like that song wasn't really necessary.
Mm. I think that irregardless, they were like, we have to end on a song.
True.
Like, we
True.
have to end on a song.
True.
Um, and like, okay, so when I say they're dumber in this one, in the beginning, I'll give you an example. In the beginning, she's literally like out to here pregnant. She's like, I'm not pregnant. What are you talking about?
That's so true. You're right. You're right. You're
They
right.
made them way dumber.
Yeah.
It was still comical and fun to watch, but yeah, they made them way dumber this time around. And like even certain words, and they didn't understand the meanings to them. And I'm just like,
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a little bit not as believable. The
yeah,
extent of the belief.
yeah,
They were, but at the same time, like I feel like the parents didn't have enough. But I don't know if I even wanted to see more of them either. You know, I was interested to see Danny DeVito and that family dynamic.
yeah,
Like I feel like it was really. I think it was. I didn't really like the choice that they cut out the son,
yeah.
because I feel like you said I really like that aspect of like the fish out of water.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And like you said, they did so much with the hour and a half movie.
mhm, mhm,
Like the brother was in, I don't know, like 3 or 4 scenes possibly,
yeah,
maybe a little bit more. But in those 3 or 4 scenes, they established very well the favorite son. He's a spoiled brat. He's just like them. He doesn't regard Matilda as anything. And there's that like it's just really established.
mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like even and I think about when he was tossing carrots at her after she had acquired her powers, and she turned the other one and jammed in his mouth, and he's coughing, and you hear the dad yell, "Chew your food, you're a mammal," or something. It's so
But that kid can handle it, you know? Like he's like, okay, whatever, you know, because that's
yeah,
how they talk to each other.
yeah,
But there's no respect there, you know.
yeah.
Um,
And they just found more comical ways to be negligent.
yeah,
Like, you're 4.5, I'm 6'5" then. Like they're just not aware. She's not that important.
mhm,
Isaac says, how did you guys feel about how Miss Honey's family backstory was done? Oh, the acrobat and everything. I liked the story. They didn't explain how Matilda happened to just know it, and it was coming to her. I wish they had kind of got to that a little bit more, because her telekinesis wouldn't explain. She's not a mind reader.
mhm.
I would more so. I don't know. I don't know. Like I liked it, but again, they sacrificed other things in order to tell it.
Yeah, I feel like it was
So
very showy. Like I liked it, but it also was like, all right, we have this incredible budget. Let's just literally show everything,
yeah,
you know. But I will say I do really love how Matilda is in the story. Like she is Miss Honey, and that part where she is reunited with the escapologist and like they connect. That's like something so tender, and I do really love that part.
yeah. 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 I did like the backstory. I just know that, you know, it took away from something else. But yeah, I was like Miss Phelps, the librarian. I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, yeah, Matilda, tell her the rest. What happened? I need to know as well. And it wasn't until like like it wasn't until I think when the father, the escapologist, went to the basement and the Matilda was replaced by the real daughter in the vision that I was like, oh, this is Miss Honey's. I mean, this is Miss Honey's story. Cause I just thought that Matilda was. I thought the story was a metaphor for what was happening in her life, and because something would happen to her, and then you would see it playing out in the story. The introduction of Miss Trunchbull, the introduction of the evil's stepsister. So, like, you know what I mean? I didn't put too much two and two together until close to the end of the story. I was just like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Lisa, tell me, okay, this is funny to me. Tell me how literally this 6-year-old girl, or I don't know, the age thing is a little weird too, because,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't very clear her age, but they're giving
No.
her 9, whatever. Because we could talk about the ABC song in a moment, because I love that song, but
I
it's
love
also
that song.
kind of confusing. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was very, very cool. But I find it hilarious how literally she's telling Miss Honey her like life story, and the woman's just like, mm-hmm. Like, wouldn't you be a little bit more surprised that this girl knows your whole life story? That's a little creepy.
Yeah. I mean, there's no discussion. There's no how could you have known that?
Mm-hmm.
And then she could be like, I don't know, it just comes to me. Let's explore that. Yes, can we explore that? I'd like to know. I'm confused. Very confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They did not do the character and the actress justice, because the actress who played Miss Honey, Lashana Lynch, is very talented.
LO, yeah.
Very talented. And I'm like, why are you wasting her? Use her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I do want to highlight something that's funny. When Trunchbull threw Amanda, which it's okay, her pigtails were on top of her head, and I was just like, is this still pigtails? Was that high up? I wasn't sure. But when she threw her, and she was like, oh, she's go see if she's dead. I was like, oh no, she's still alive. She looked so disappointed. She looked so disappointed. Ugh.
Trunchbull?
Yeah.
I know.
So disappointed.
It's and you know, in the 96 film that they mentioned that the reason that these kids, like why Miss Trunchbull still has this school, is because the parents won't believe them.
Yeah.
But I just would think that, you know, I feel like it was left out. Like, how does someone get away with this? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, like the way it was done in the movie was so much better than the original movie, because she's talking to an older kid, and she's like, why doesn't parents do anything? And she goes, would your parents believe you? And it's like Matilda were asking, and Matilda's like, no. And it's just the way it's done is so much better. Now let me tell you what's so funny. I was taking notes as I was watching, which I do for this. I take notes, right? And in my notes before the end of the movie, I wrote, this is early on too, the librarian better adopt her. I see more emotion between her than Miss Honey. I wrote that in my damn notes while I'm watching the movie.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Let's see. True, the actors were all amazing. I just wish they had more of an opportunity to show their acting skills. Emma freaking Thompson, LOL. You could tell she was having fun with the role. I will say that.
Oh my God, there's some lines that I wrote that made me laugh about. Let me see if I can find. No, I I think I don't know if this was in the old movie or this one where Amanda's spelling the word and Miss Trunchbull is like, "Why are these women married?" Because it's like Mrs. D, Mrs. I actually that
Oh,
might.
it's the original. It's the original.
But those are funny things about, her that make me laugh.
Yeah.
Mrs. D, why are these women married? It's like, okay, we know there's another level there that that's funny.
I've always had my suspicions, Miss Trunchbull. Thank you for confirming them.
But also, there is a cruelness. Miss Trunchbull does the gym scene. Can we talk about the gym scene where she literally puts landmines in the kid where the kids are running?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my, yeah.
She has them do a full obstacle course.
But then she's also has a breakout song, which I'm like, oh, okay, this is what makes her silly and not as scary, where they put her in this like wig and she's like swinging and there's horses. I'm like, what is
You're
this
right.
do?
Oh my gosh, you're right. You're right. Because now think about that, right? Now let's juxtapose that to the movie where they go sneak in Trunchbull's house, which technically isn't her house, but they go sneak in the house, and they're like her and Miss Honey are hiding around, and Miss Trunchbull knows somebody, and she's like jumping and bounding and everything. Like, I was freaking terrified. I was watching, terrified. I was so scared.
Yeah. You're like, she's gonna catch him. She's gonna catch him. I was literally sweating watching that yesterday, and I've watched the movie I don't know how many times. But yeah, that scene where they're like trying to escape the house. Oh my God, that is, like there was very few moments where in this movie, or I don't even remember one that made me go like, I'm actually scared of what's gonna happen. I didn't feel the risk, like the danger of the situation, what is the word that I'm looking for? Like
fear.
Why this is so crucial. Yeah, like this is like now or never, or life or death,
So, all right, kind of piggybacking off of that with what you're saying here. And by the way, Eisler says Sasha hit the nail on the head. Kind of piggyback off that. Have you seen Cruella, the new one with Emma Stone?
With Emma Stone, yes.
Okay. Now, do you see how cruel Emma Thompson was in that movie? That's the difference. She's cruel. She's not scary. So it feels like, as Miss Trunchbull, she's cruel, but she's not scary. That's, I feel like, was the definitive difference between her version of Miss Trunchbull and the original movie's version. I think it's more about cruelty than scary. And in the original version, she was cruel and scary. So that's my take on that. Yeah. What you're saying about her.
Well, I'm also thinking too, like, when you're a kid, like you're scared of a teacher, you're scared of an adult because they are cruel. And I don't know, I feel like they're just like, oh, Miss Trunchbull, she's like evil. I don't know, like there isn't this I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like,
okay, I don't recall this, so if they did it, forgive me, guys, but I feel like the cinematographer for the original movie did a better job of making all the adults in her life seem larger than life because of how they shot it. The low angles, the exaggerated, in your face frame. I don't recall them doing that too much here. For me, it adds to the helplessness of Matilda's situation. Yeah. Everybody is bigger than you. Everybody is in control. They're towering over you. So when she does stand up, when she does do something, it means something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they, and okay, this goes back to my small gripe earlier, when she was already confident, already all of this. So when she did stand up to Trunchbull and everyone is amazed and they want her to run for president, basically, it doesn't hit as hard. I feel like if they had done the lead up to that point, then we're all like, ooh, it's going down. But since she had already been standing up, she already had a whole song about it, and you know, she was doing whatever. Like, because like the thing about the original movie is the said when a person is bad, a person must be punished, and that's when they said, you know, like it was the first good advice they gave to Matilda because they didn't say a child, they said a person. So Matilda realized, oh, so if anybody's bad, they need to, and that was the first time I felt, had agency where she was like, okay, let me stand up and do something. Whereas
that gave her the why of why she was like, all right, now I'm gonna punish my dad by doing the thing in the bathroom. You know, here it's like in this movie, it was like, yeah, parents are evil. Let's just set everything afire. It was literally like, what? Like you're just being naughty.
Yeah.
Like, you're being naughty. You have to have a reason to be naughty, you know? Like I don't know. Cuz there is a purpose of why kids are bad. You know, they don't do it because they're usually trying to get something out of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, Asher says yes. You know what's so funny? Recently I watched Ever After with Drew Barrymore. Have you ever seen that?
No, but I have it on my list now because I saw it from your review. It looks very exciting.
Oh,
and I want to see
you.
it.
Yes. Oh, listen, let me tell you something. It is going to ruin live action fairy tale movies for you because it's how good it is. I'm telling you right now.
Oh.
So prepare yourself. So not to be a butthole, and I'm definitely not bringing anything into this. I know without seeing it that it's better than Snow White because I know. So go watch Snow White and then watch Ever After because you won't be able to. I'm telling you.
Wait, Snow White, the new one that just came out?
Yeah. Yeah. Go. Well, that's what I'm saying. Go watch that one first and then watch this. Once you watch Ever After, you can never go back. You can never go back because it's so freaking good. It's ridiculous how good it is. I'm like, damn. Listen, Sasha, when I tell you that everybody is fully fleshed out, that there are arcs left and right, that even the prince isn't some standby character who doesn't do anything, like every freaking body got okay. All right. I'm relaxed. I'm fine.
She's like, I am a super fan and no one can ever tell me otherwise.
Yes.
This movie is everything I'm assuming this movie is everything you want to be. The character development.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because, yes. It shows her vulnerability and shows her strength, but her strength doesn't come out of nowhere. You see it bubbling here and there in certain decisions that she makes, and then when it finally happens, it's not left field. You know what I mean? She doesn't have it all together, but it just. Okay.
Okay, we'll talk about that one on our own time. Like,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys.
Your hype is like enough for me to see it. But I want to go back. I want to go back to the part that we were talking about, the camera angles.
Yes.
Because the 96 film shows you, like, forces you to feel what it is like to be a kid and have a parent look down to you, because you're physically having to see these like fish-eyed angles and how Matilda, like you said, like they enlarge, like Danny DeVito. I remember a specific scene where he just looks hovering over her, and this man's like, I don't know, 4 feet or something, but like he makes him menacing because of that angle.
Yeah.
And in Matilda the Musical, because they had these big musical numbers, they had to do these drone footage, and didn't get to get those shots that are so like unspoken, or like things that you need to know that make you feel something. That's where I feel like it was so showy.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm just thinking right now of that cake eating scene where he's literally like eating cake, but they're all in like sequins suits and stuff. You know, it doesn't make you physically uncomfortable
No.
how he's eating cake, and it's just like, oh, like this is do or die. I
Yeah.
didn't feel like it was the stakes. There we go. The stakes weren't high enough
Yeah.
for him eating a cake.
And funny enough, you bring that up. Like this was like a 4 or 5 tiered level cake, and yet and still, the one round cake in the original movie looked more menacing, more massive, more impossible than that.
Yeah.
And even again, the camera angles, you're right. There was like the close-ups of him in the original eating the cake, and how it like overshadowed him. And here it was just like, okay.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Matilda the Musical came out first before this movie? I don't think there would be a meme about Bruce. Like, that is literally something that I think about. You see a chocolate cake and I think of that
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely. Oscar says, Ever After was amazing. Go off, Queen. All right, co-signed. Sasha, that's your next thing. I don't care what's on your list. That's your next one.
First I watched Snow White, and then
Yes.
from all the things that are happening with that, but I will still watch. But can we go on to speaking about Bruce then?
Yeah.
The Bruce that they casted?
Yeah.
How they literally... Wait, I just want to... It's literally, they're like, here... Okay, Bruce.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that like they put him in a little fat suit?
Come on. His neck is like super thin. His head is small. His legs are there. And then you just see... He might as well just play the like pregnant mom, honestly. Because that's I don't know if it's because they're like... Why couldn't they just...
I'm trying to figure like, okay, I know that there was choreography and there was dance numbers, but I really feel like the dance numbers, ones that I can recall that involved Brucey, would not have been, and this isn't like a, to try anybody, but I don't think it would have been too much of a stretch for a heavier set child. I think they could have pulled that off still, you know what I'm saying. The fat suit was everything. I swear.
But it's so obvious. Like, come on now. Like, they could have... I would even allow CGI for that because it was so obvious. It just looked like that.
Yeah.
He literally looked like that. This line that she says in the musical. Yeah. He should have thought of that before he made a pact with Satan and decided to steal my cake. That made me laugh. Like the extreme. The
extreme was crazy. You're right. I was like, okay, that's all right. One for you, Miss Trunchbull. That was funny. Asper says the kid was light as a feather. LMO. It was so obvious. Yes.
Oh man, he was great. But come on, give me a meteor child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But that was something like. That showed the extreme of how much Miss Trunchbull hates kids. That she would say that literally it's Satan that stole. You know, he made a pact with Satan. That's extreme.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of a teacher that I had when I was in elementary school. She had this little lip that she would always do like this.
Oh.
And she hated kids. But then when she would see parents, she would be like completely fine, and she'd be like so nice. But like, how did they even get into this? If you hate kids so much, why are you teaching?
Why?
You know,
it can't be for the money. It can't. It can't be for the
There's a
boys.
line that there's like where she goes into Miss Honey's house and she's like,
Yeah.
oh, they don't really pay teachers well. Even in
Yeah.
England, that happens too. They don't pay teachers good.
Yeah. And I was okay. So it's funny. I'm like, well, dang. Even in the movie, at least they gave Miss Honey a little cottage. They just threw my girl in the shed. I was like, dang.
Oh shit, you're right.
Oh my
That
god.
I made that hit a little bit deeper, where she was like, "This is my home. This is,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
where
No,
she really."
I think yeah, they did a better job of showing the dire straits of Miss Honey in the musical. I will say that definitely did, because in the other one, I'm like, I remember watching, I'm like, I like your cottage. I could live here. It's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was.
Yeah.
It was quaint, but it was cute. It was like the country cottage. But this
Yeah.
one, she lived in a up shed.
Yeah.
Um,
On someone else's property.
yeah. Do you know that Miss Trunchbull? Do you know that Miss Trunchbull is usually played by a male on stage? It's
No,
usually
but
a male in drag.
I could see that working out a little bit better for what's needed for the character, especially if having a woman play her would require, again, prosthetics, all this extra stuff that like would probably be a lot for on stage. So I could totally see that. I could totally see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm not sure if I really understand. It's for the paid vacations and holidays. Maybe talking about
yeah.
the pay of
Why teachers continue to teach? It's for the holidays and the summer
oh,
vacation.
true.
True. I forgot about that. No, you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
still.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
To
mean,
take that away.
I wouldn't be mad if they had like a male Miss Trunchbull. I've
No,
seen it
I would
before.
not have been mad
I feel
either.
like I think it would add to it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that neckline and the oh my god, even if Miss Trunchbull had facial hair, like I just think there'd be like a whole nother
Yeah.
level of like
Yeah.
um
Yeah, that could have worked.
yeah.
That could have worked. Yeah. I could.
Did you like Emma Thompson as Miss Trunchbull?
So I'm gonna preface this with, it's Emma Thompson, so it's hard for me not to like her, just period. Do I think that they should have cast somebody else to bring that menacing Aurora? Probably would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Or remove that song they gave her and maybe have just do a little bit more cinematography and shadow work with her. Maybe that could have like filled some of that, like for me. But I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate the casting of Emma Thompson, but
Yeah.
my Trunchbull will always be my girl, 1996, whose name I can't
Yeah.
remember right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
she had RBF down packed. Okay,
Yeah.
she just really embodied this hatred, this visceral disgust and disdain, and
Mm-hmm.
her presence. Just when they said that she loomed in the hallways, in the shadows of the doorways, she really loomed. Like she was really all about it,
I mean, she was
Um,
also like naturally just had this
yeah,
menacing
yeah.
to her.
They didn't have to add much to her. You know what I mean? They didn't.
True.
They
Poor lady.
didn't.
She didn't have that much to do with prosthetics.
No.
I'm sure that like Emma Thompson, they had to add a whole like prosthetic
Yeah.
thing to her.
Yeah.
Eli said it reminds me of John Travolta in Hairspray. Yeah. See, it could have worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
It definitely could have worked.
speaking of like how this lady from the 96 was in Harry Potter, that scene in Matilda the movie where they throw Matilda in the attic reminded me very much of Harry Potter and the Dursleys and like the cruel parents that don't understand the kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And in that one, they were like his uncle and aunt, but man, they treated him worse than the house pets, and they like, I feel like they overcompensated their love onto their son, just to further separate, you know, him from Harry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even then, he got his own little mini arc at the end of that series. You know, where he came to respect Harry and nothing else. Like he saved my life. So even him had like a nice little.
Guys, spoiler from Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh! I hope you got. How long ago was this?
It took me a while to get through the 7 movies. I'm not even gonna lie. Like probably 2 years ago, I finally saw them because I would always like stay up on ABC watching like the 4, and it was like till 3 a.m. and I was like, I never got to finish it. So I finally, yeah.
Did you read the books?
I know. I need to go back.
The books are better, but that probably doesn't. It's not a shocker. That's not like, you know what I mean. Books are normally better because they have more time to really dive into everything.
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert! LOL, JK. Yeah. I probably should have said, you know, on Hot Take Tuesday Live on Wednesdays, we definitely talk spoilers. Period. We talk spoilers
about other movies too. Clearly.
Yeah. You get a spoiler.
Did you like that? They had an English accent where they said maths.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Did the parents have Cockney accents? Was it Cockney?
I think it was Cockney.
Like it was very exaggerated, and I was like, okay, I kind of enjoyed it. Yes, because I feel like Roald Dahl, he's a British author, correct? So I feel like all his characters are British. So for them to kind of go, you know, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. It was fine with me. Makes perfect sense.
I didn't know that going into this one, yes, but on the stage they do it with an English accent as well, and they have their little uniforms and everything, which is so cute, and like the English side is
nice.
Seeing that, I like seeing that in the movie. I mean, it was really colorful and pretty. I know that you did mention that in your little clip.
Yes, I love brightly lit color. I love color. I love color. I love it. So
yeah. Even in the beginning where they're in that hospital and the hospital's like this fluorescent orange.
And in a dance number where like the floor, turn out that it's levels. I thought that was a very cool transition where it was like, I think it was a yellow circle, and then as the camera pans, tilts down, you realize that, it's not just one circle, it's a bunch of circles that they're all on. So I thought that was a cool transition with the choreography and the dancing.
Yeah.
So 100%. 100%.
And I just saw today that it was 200 kids for Revolting Children. 200 kids for Revolting Children and 75 for like, I don't remember what was the other one, but like mad props to the choreographer that could handle that amount of kids to be so on point is
notes
insane.
On the choreography. No notes on the choreography. None. Just 10 out of 10. Yeah. So one other thing that I want to say, as we're winding down to a close, the one other thing that I definitely want to say is I forgot to mention that one moment between him and Matilda at the end when he's basically signing her away is he gives her a handshake. So not even a hug, but a handshake. And I feel like that's the only real affection, physical affection, that she's probably ever received from him. And the mother didn't even give her anything, right?
No, she stayed in the car and she's like, "We're gonna be late." I just butchered that, but literally she's just like, "We're gonna be late to the airport." And another change is that they're escaping the mafia.
Yes,
not the police.
Not the FBI.
Not the FBI.
Not the FBI. Which, again, the original, the two FBI agents that they had following them were they were kind of dense too. Everybody in Matilda's world is kind of slow except for Matilda, right? Like they were too dense, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Oh, I just said 200. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of kids. It's a lot of kids. So I have one final question for you, Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up, I tried to do this with whenever I'm doing a hot take. Sometimes I don't get a chance to, or sometimes the subject matter of the movie doesn't really provide for one. But I tend to try to do like a poll. So this time around, I did a poll of what are people's favorite Roald Dahl movie? What's their favorite one? And I listed 4 options. There are more than 4 that have been made, but these are the 4 more like most known ones. So I put Matilda, the 1996 version, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the 1971 version, The Witches, the 1990 version, or James and the Giant Peach.
So I've never seen The Witches, so I couldn't. I have to after I see the list that you've given me. I will see it.
Yes. As a matter of fact, you should see Ever After, and then The Witches, the 1990 version, not the newer one, the 1990 version, because technically the Grand High Witch in that one is the same actress who plays the stepmother in Ever After. Trust me, it is.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Okay. Super
And the
fan,
practical
guys.
effects they use, hold up. Okay. Hold up. Okay, sorry. But go ahead.
Should I also see the new version too, eventually?
No. Nope.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to, but there's no rush on that.
So, like, which one would I rank out of those 4?
Yeah.
The original Charlie, is it Charlie or Willy Wonka? Charlie and the
Willy
Chocolate.
Wonka. Willy Wonka, the original one. Mm-hmm.
With Gene Wilder?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Chef's Kiss. I heard that it's not anything close to how it was in the book, though. The one that had Johnny Depp is more close to it because it was more like strange, and he was very more cruel in the books. But that's has to be top than the 96 version. A 96 version of Matilda.
I'm going to go with the 1990 Witches as my top.
Okay. Maybe that might end up being a top for me too.
Yeah. It's very good. I enjoy it very much. And I think I know a huge part of it is the witches and the makeup and how they are, and like it's done so. There's this one scene that I'm just like, watching as a kid was amazing. Watching it now as like a filmmaker, I'm like, damn, they really did that. You know what I mean? Like, so. Okay. But
Lisa, I wanted to ask you. I wanted to tell you one other thing. There was one other song called "When I Grow Up," which we could tie it into the whole thing. Mm-hmm. It's the end. Like, what is the moral of these stories?
Yeah.
Of the when I grow up, that these kids feel like when they grow up, they will be able to have the power within them. That they will be able to control things. Yeah, I wanted to mention that I really like that song and that like message, and even that Miss Honey, being adult, she's still fighting her demons.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I love that, and considering you're right, because considering how the whole movie is them being told how insignificant they are, how unimportant they are, how they don't matter, they're maggots. All this, having a song that says that, I'm going to be something, I'm going to do something. Like, I enjoyed that song very much. And even like the visuals and all, like, yes. Again, all the kid songs, you can keep all the kid songs. Love them.
Yeah.
Love them. The other one,
yeah. But I will say that the original 96 film did really hit the nail on the head about the moral of the tale that like you aren't defined by your blood family. It's the family
Yes.
you make, and that you are powerful, and like everything you have it within you.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I think that the musical kind of like missed that. Like it was trying to say it in that story, but it didn't really hit home as much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I will say that I really love that song, and the overall message is really good. Like,
Yeah.
of what Matilda is trying to say. That
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So I know we did a lot of picking and dissecting, but overall the musical movie was an enjoyment. Was an enjoyment for sure.
Definitely worth watching.
Yeah, worth watching it. If you haven't seen the 1996 movie, full recommend, watch that. Definitely watch that, and then you can enjoy the musical.
And then enjoy the musical.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Sasha, for coming on. This has been great. Oh my gosh, this has been so good. This is why I like to do this. It forces me to watch movies that I wouldn't have watched or I don't think highly of, so that's why I always give my guest the choice. I'm like, okay, give me 5 movies and I'm gonna try to pick one.
All right. So, Lisa, I will recommend one for you. You should see Into the Woods, the musical with Meryl Streep. See that one. That's another one. Has she seen A for me or?
It's an inside joke. A4 is Aladdin 4.
Oh, okay, okay.
Jafar needs glasses. It's a Family Guy. It's a Family Guy joke.
Oh, okay.
They're talking about watching Aladdin 4, where it says Jafar needs glasses, and it cuts to Jafar at the eye doctor going, number 1, number 2. It's you can look at it. It's actually cute. I just said that was so much fun. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate
you for watching the whole thing.
Yes.
Thanks for being here and putting input.
Yes,
it was so fun.
Yes.
Lisa, thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
It was so much fun, and now I have a list of another bunch of movies that I have to watch. So, thank you.
I hope you're not opposed to coming on for a future time.
Yeah, maybe it won't be a musical movie. Maybe it could be Ever After. Yeah. Maybe I'm gonna be the next super fan, and you don't even know it.
Listen. If you watch Ever After, I promise you, I will hold it for you only, and we will do a review of that one together.
Okay, I'm excited. But have a great night, and thank you so much.
Thank you. And make sure you guys follow Sasha _Arango.
Yes, Sasha _Arango.
Yes, nailed it. And feel free to check out my my series, the first season, the Zombie Chronicles, which you can watch on Tubi for free. Just type in Zombie Chronicles. All right. Have fun, guys. Enjoy. I'll see you guys next week. LIC says, woo, so much fun. Thank you. And if you guys want to be a part of a future episode, shoot me a DM and we'll get